in support of Gaza. Okay, so now we have the latest incident of the Israeli state overreacting to some perceived threat that basically just exemplifies their willingness not to negotiate with anyone. The state of Israel, and I'm not condemning the people of Israel because they're just as brainwashed as most of our people here. Their government is pursuing a very, very aggressive and destructive policy, not just for the state of Israel, but for the entire Middle East and the globe. They're certainly trying to push the envelope. And from what I can see, they're actually succeeding in doing this. So for anyone getting up their hopes too high in terms of this incident, the newest incident, you might call it, it's not the only one. Yes, sure, it's going to cause a diplomatic row. It's going to cause an international outcry. But what have these outcries, international outcries, actually what have they achieved so far? Basically, not a whole lot. As long as Western governments, and this includes the United States, Britain, and Canada, and many other states in the Western Hemisphere, keep supporting Israel unconditionally, this situation will not go away. In fact, it is about to explode. And the ante is going to be upped, probably in the next few years. And it could actually lead to World War III. You know, I'm not sure if sensible people around the globe are willing to risk this. But evidently, Israel is, and so is most of the establishment in the West. The situation is not at all easy. If you think that Turkey is going to go full blast against Israel, you're mistaken, because Turkey is essentially an ally of the United States. And they are getting plenty of money from the U.S. We have military bases there, okay? And so this is not a for sure deal, so to speak. It brings up some interesting questions, though, because once Turkey were to challenge the state of Israel by actually supporting a flotilla traveling to Gaza under, let's say, the protection of Turkey, under the protection of the Turkish Navy, that might change the equation a bit. Needless to say, that would entertain quite some repercussions from the United States as well. But perhaps, maybe that's needed at this point. And I can't, you know, you can't place this kind of a responsibility on the Turkish government, because everybody is involved, everybody. The German government will pay lip service to the Palestinian plight, but diplomatically speaking, they're not going to do a goddamn thing due to their own past history concerning the Jewish Holocaust, for which they were responsible. This, of course, is always being used now as an excuse for further aggression. And as far as the state of Israel is concerned, their broad definition of terrorism, now coming forth from their spokesman from the foreign ministry, includes some human rights organization flotilla, equating it with a terrorist organization and with Al-Qaeda. So that's quite a leap, and by this definition, really, if this logic, if you follow this kind of logic, then perhaps the Warsaw Ghetto, resistance in the Warsaw Ghetto, was also a terrorist organization, according to Israel's own definition by now, which of course is quite an oxymoron. And as usual, just like the people here, the people in Israel are being bamboozled by people who simply don't want to give an inch of their power to anyone else. The Arab League, I might add, is also in cahoots with this, because naturally they depend on the oil sales that they're making to us, the West. And so they're not going to be protesting too hard about this. So in terms of a long-term solution here, I see absolutely nothing at hand. And this entire quagmire is probably going to continue for decades. If, and let us hope so, Israel doesn't go completely crazy and pushes for a war against Iran, because then all bets are off. Rest assured that China and Russia are not going to stand idly by while this happens. This would be essentially the beginning of World War III. And I basically think we're in the beginning stages of that. Coupled with everything else that's going on in the world, this might makes right philosophy, which has taken over, basically. You can't assume anything anymore. So try to live out your lives as peacefully as you can, but don't side with those who are against the people on all fronts. I'm certainly not going to do that.